overview of Upadeshamrit. So this book has totally 11 verses. However, these 11 verses contains the essence of everything, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. So how is it arranged? How did Srila Rupa Goswami arrange these 11 verses? That just in 11 verses, he has given the essence of the whole philosophy. And we will see one outline or overview given generally, and then we will also see the overview given by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Both we will see. So the general overview given for Upadeshamrita is that this book is organized in terms of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, and Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. The first 7 verses are for practicing devotees who have just taken up the practice of bhakti, whose practice has not yet achieved the platform of Nishta, has not come to the platform of stable, steady devotional service. So they are just endeavoring to practice devotional service. So the first 7 verses are mainly for those who are practicing in the stage of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, or it denotes or it explains details what we should do in these initial stages, these first 7 verses. And from there, when a person actually follows these first 7 verses very sincerely, then he becomes qualified to enter into the text 8, which is the Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, which explains what should be done on that stage. And when a person sincerely follows that Raganuga Sadhana, then he becomes qualified by the grace of Krishna, achieves the level of bhava. So that is explained in the verse 9. And then 10 and 11 speaks about the level of prema bhakti, the devotee who has achieved perfection. What is his vision? What is his stage of devotion? So everything is described. So this is one way of seeing the whole book being divided into 3 sections of Vaidhi Sadhana, Raganuga Sadhana, Bhava and Prema Bhakti. So this is one kind of overview. This is the general overview which is seen, and you will also find this in the student guidebook that we shared earlier. However, Bhakti Vinod Thakur also gives another outline. He sees the whole book, Upadeshamrit, is meant for someone who wants to be a Madhyamadikari, because we all know that there are 3 types of devotees. One is the beginner devotee, neophyte, or a beginner who's called as Kanishta, and then there is an intermediate devotee who is Madhyama, and then there is an advanced devotee who's called Uttama. So the Uttama devotee is so advanced that, and he is so absorbed in Krishna that he is not able to see anything separate from Krishna, or he is not able to see who is a devotee, who is a non-devotee. For him, everybody looks like a devotee. For him, everywhere he sees Krishna. So he is absorbed in so high, he cannot actually distinguish and understand, okay, this person is not a devotee of Krishna, at least externally. So he needs to know the knowledge of Krishna. So that vision he does not have because of his higher stage. So he has to come down to the Madhyama platform or a devotee in the Madhyama platform. Either of them, they only can preach well. So that is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees this whole book is meant for someone who is a Madhyamadikari or someone who wants to become a Madhyamadikari. And he says the first verse is the symptoms of a Madhyamadikari. Who is a Madhyamadikari? And then what does he practice? That is given in verse 2, 3, and 4. And because of his practices, what is his internal devotional development? What is the vision that he develops? Because of his external practices, he develops an internal attitude, and there is a spiritual development that happens internally, and because of that spiritual advancement he develops a certain kind of vision, how he sees the world, and how, as his spiritual vision increases, how does he worship different places and different personalities, and what is the highest ambition of this person who gradually advances to the next stage of Uttamadikari. So there are these 2 outlines. Even for this course, even if you can just remember the previous outline, the text 1 to 7 Vaidhi Sadhana, text 8 Raganuga Sadhana, text 9 to 11 Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. If you can even remember this, that will be enough for the course. However, I'm just sharing an extra detail that how Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees this book.